in After Effects, you can close the first window. Right, so in the project panel, if you double click in this project panel, okay, and then I want you to find where the folder that you save the PSD file. Right, so this is the PSD file, and when you want to import your Photoshop file to After Effects, you must import as composition. Open, okay, and make sure this is composition, editable layer style, and you press OK. So this is the composition, my rocket. If you double click, okay, you can see the two layers in the my rocket timeline. Right, so now I want you to click on this the first box. Okay, the first icon is eyes, and on the first box, if you click, this is what we call as solo layer. When you click the solo layers, you can only see the object inside this layer, which is the fire. Okay, so when you click on this fire, you can see that this is what we call as anchor point. Okay, so we need to remove this, we need to move this anchor point to this position. So how to do that? If you click on the pen behind tool, okay, and you can move this down to somewhere here. Okay, right, then you hit again the solo button so that you can see the whole rocket. Right, so now the next thing what we should do is, because we want to animate the fire, okay, so if you press S for scale, okay, the S alphabet, and I want you to click inside the stopwatch, and you can see that when you click inside the stopwatch, you have one keyframe in here. Okay, so the first keyframe, we will make the value remain 100, and then I want you to bring this timeline to 2 seconds. Okay, no, maybe 1 second. 2 seconds is too long. Okay, so 1 second, and you click again this keyframe, and now I want you to change it from 100 maybe to 100. Right, and then you drag again the timeline to 2 seconds, and you click here to add another keyframe. This is the third keyframe, and you change back the number to 100. Right, so when you scrub your timeline, okay, your header, you can see that this is animate. Right, so to make this animation looping, what you should do is you put your cursor inside the stopwatch. So before you click, you press the option, okay, you hold option in your keyboard if you are using Mac. If you are using Windows, you hold down the alternate. So while you holding down the key, the option or the alternate, okay, still holding, then you click inside the stopwatch, and you can see this coding, okay, in the timeline. So here I want you to type loop out, okay, and then you press the inverted comma, cycle, okay, comma, and 0. Right, so now if I press the space bar, so you can see that the animation is still looping. Okay, so now the next thing what I want you to do is to create a new composition, okay, and name it as main composition, and the width and height should be 1920 by 1080. Okay, make sure that the lock aspect ratio is unlocked. Right, and then the duration is 30 seconds, and you press OK. So now you are in main composition. This is my rocket composition, and next to it is the second composition that we just created. Okay, so in the main composition, I want you to click on the My Rocket and bring My Rocket composition inside the main composition. Okay, so now I want you to press S for scale. Okay, and you put your cursor into this amount. You click, hold, and move to the left. So this is how you can resize your rocket object. Okay, because this is too big, so we need to make it smaller. Okay, I think 25 is enough, right? So now if you make sure that you select the selection tool, okay, not the pen behind, because pen behind is to move the anchor, and if you want to move your object, you need to use the selection tool, right? So click on the selection tool and then move your rocket outside. Okay, bring your rocket outside from the screen. Right, next is I want you to press P for position. Okay, press P for position, and then to create the first keyframe, you must click inside the stopwatch. Okay, so now you have one keyframe, and then I want you to move the timeline to 2 seconds, let's say. Okay, and then you bring your rocket inside, so maybe here. Okay, and then bring your timeline to 4 seconds, and then you click here to add another keyframe, and you move it here. Okay, and then again bring your timeline to 6 seconds, and then you add another keyframe and you move your rocket somewhere here. Right, so now if you scrub the header, you can see that your rocket is coming in but with incorrect direction. Okay, how to correct the pointing for your rocket? Okay, we are still selecting My Rocket, and I want you to press R for rotation. Okay, so you bring your cursor, you bring your header to the beginning. Okay, and you click inside the stopwatch and to add a new keyframe. Okay, and then after that, when you move your header inside, okay, when you scrub your timeline a few frames, and you can see the rocket. So still in rotation, then you add another keyframe. Okay, so now if you put your cursor in this value, okay, you can click and make a correction on the pointing. So you have to scrub little by little, okay, and then add the keyframe, and then move the way of this rocket so that it point to the correct direction. Okay, right, move again, and then add keyframe and pointing to the correct direction. Okay, this is correct, but starting from here, we need to add another keyframe and move the position. Okay, add keyframe, and then move again. Okay, add keyframe, then move again upward. Okay, another keyframe. Okay, one more keyframe, but the pointing is correct, and then maybe in 6 seconds, add another keyframe, and I want your rocket to point out here, okay, somewhere here. Right, so now if we scrub the header, you can see that your rocket is moving along the motion path and pointing to the correct direction, and the fire is still animating. Okay, you can also press the space bar to pre-render the animation. Right, done.